Good morning, beautiful ladies. How are you this morning? Welcome to our Tuesday morning business insights training. Just bear with me for a sec while I set up so I can see your comments. And there we go. I'm going to be able to see who's joining us today. When you're joining us on today's training, say hi, let me know you're there. Let me know that you can see and hear me okay, because that's all important. If you can't see and hear me, it's going to be pretty difficult to pay attention to the training this morning. But we have a really good topic for you this morning. We are talking about social media and which platforms are best to use for business. Good morning, Parmay. Thank you for joining us this morning. So I am really excited. First of all, I hope your week has gone well so far. I know it's early in the week. I know it's Tuesday, but how was your Monday? Let me know how your Monday was. Mine was a little bit up and down, and that's okay. We all have up and downs in business, don't we? So, it's all about how we deal with them, isn't it? So let me know how your Monday was and how your week is going so far. Now, if my internet pauses every now and then, hopefully it won't, but I have been having a few issues with it lately, so hopefully it won't be too bad. Okie dokie, let's get on with today's training because it is a really good one, and I am very excited to, as I said, be talking on the topic of social media and which platforms are the best for business. But what I reckon is the real question that we need to ask is, do we really need to be everywhere on social media, right from the start? So particularly when we are starting business, or when you're looking to launch a business. So I kind of think there's a few different answers to this particular topic in itself, and it honestly depends on how far along you are in your business. Because what I see, and what I actually saw a lot when I was researching this particular topic, was that a lot of blog posts and a lot of social media scheduling platforms will say to you that, yes, you need to be everywhere right from the start, right? You need to be on as many social media platforms as you can right from the start. And because this is what we read, this is what we believe that we have to do, right? And it's also because, yes, we read it, but we also see other people in business doing it, right? So people who may have been in business for a bit or a lot longer than us, we see them on multiple social media platforms. So we think that that's what we need to do as well, okay? However, I want to be bluntly honest here. I do not believe that this is the case when you are starting out in business, okay? Even when you are maybe, a few months or even a year down the track, I don't believe that right from the start you should be, or that you have to be everywhere on social media. I think that, and something I have done myself personally, is made it much more complicated, than it needs to be, right? So, and it doesn't need to be complicated. We make it complicated. We make it confusing in our own minds. So I know that when I started out in business, right, I was, and this is as a coach in my coaching business, I was so busy creating pretty designs and, pretty quotes on Canva and trying to post in as many places as I could, that I thought this was going to help my business, because I saw what everybody else was doing, people who've been in business for a lot longer than me. And I thought, well, that's what they're doing, so it's what I have to do too. So when I was doing this, what I was doing or what I wasn't doing, I was getting very little response at all. The only responses that I was getting on all the different platforms that I was trying to keep up with were from family and friends. It was a few likes, a comment here and there, and that was it, right? And the reason for that was because there was no strategy behind what I was doing. Like, I didn't know why I was doing it. I was simply doing it because that's what I saw other people doing. So I was playing a guessing game, and I was copying what I saw others doing but I didn't understand why I was doing it. I didn't understand why they were doing it. So the real question answered is, it depends on where you are in your business. And if you are starting out, no, you don't need to be everywhere on social media. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about that as we go on this morning. I mean, you can see that there's so many options of social media just in that picture there, you know, Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter, Insta, what do we got? TikTok, Clubhouse, I don't even think is there unless one of them is Clubhouse. I don't know. Snapchat, which I really don't get. Right. Twitter, I really don't get. But we've got so many options that it's like your head can explode if we think we have to be everywhere. So here's some other questions to ask yourself when you are considering which social media platform to start with. So first of all, where do your peeps hang out? Where does your audience, the people, your target audience, the people that you want to speak to and ultimately, of course, sell to, because we're in business, where do they hang out? And also, alongside that, what suits your brand? So, for instance, is your brand products? Is it visual? Is it a visual product? So in that case, you would most likely go to something like Instagram. Is your service business to business? If it is, then you would probably look at LinkedIn. If it's more personal and directed at smaller businesses, then you would use Facebook, although I will say Facebook is good for all of them. Or do you do like a lot of trainings like I do? So if you do a lot of trainings, places like YouTube and Clubhouse are fantastic to hang out. So it's all about thinking about your audience, who you want to serve first, right? And what suits your brand. So those two kind of go together. And if you're unsure of who your audience is and you know exactly what your brand is, well, this is the type of thing that we talk about in the Heart and Soul Business Academy. We deep dive into, you know, exactly all about what your brand is, what it means, and your target audience who you have a heart to sell to. And of course, how much time do you have available, right? Social media, let's be realistic, social media takes time. But we don't want to get so stuck on working on the business all the time in the background that then we don't have enough time to look after and nurture and source clients, right? And I see this all the time, and I've very much been guilty of doing this myself when I have been so focused, as I said, on those pretty social media quotes and, you know, making it all look perfect and putting it all out there, that I have inadvertently, right, not nurtured my clients as best as I could. So what we need to do is we need to really determine how much time we're going to give and how much time that we're going to be able to focus on social media realistically, because life happens too, right? Yes, social media is part of business. It has to be in this day and age, right? But we shouldn't be spending the majority of our workday on social media. There's strategies that you can put in place so that you only need to be working a certain amount of time on your social media, right? So it's absolutely, it is hugely important to have that brand awareness, which is, you know, part of using social media. It's brilliant for brand awareness. It's brilliant to get yourself out there, get eyes on you and your business. But it can't be your only focus, or it shouldn't be your only focus. And so for me, as I said, I have fallen into this trap. I've fallen into this trap quite a few times, right, of focusing far too much first on the social media and not enough on the rest of my sales funnel, which, as I said, is my clients and supporting my clients. So I fell into this trap a little bit last year where, you know, I I really wanted to build my social media presence. Like, I just felt that it was time to build my social media presence. And so I fell into the trap of trying to do everything all at once. And absolutely, I feel for my clients, you know, while I was, yes, absolutely at the time, I was still working with them, I was still doing it, but it's not where my focus was. And so my heart was more in the social media stuff. And so when I would go to, how do I put it, go to have a session with a client, my mind was still on social media, and that's not the way it should be. It should be, you know, once you've got clients, we nurture them because they're important as well. Every, you know, clients are important. You're giving them your valued time. They're paying for your time. So we need to nurture them as well. So yes, social media is important, but there's a lot of other areas in business that we need to focus on as well. Let's talk about having fingers in too many pies. So this is where the imposter syndrome comes in, right? We see what everybody else is doing, and we feel like we have to keep up, right? That bloody itty bitty shitty committee starts to get in there and starts to tell you that you should be doing this and you should be doing that. And tell me, if you're watching the replay, pop #replay, tell me if these are thoughts that you've had, right? For instance, you're going, oh, wow, check out Jenny over there. Oh my God, she is doing so well on social media. Her posts are incredible. And oh my God, she seems to be everywhere. Like, how is she being everywhere on social media? She's doing it all. She's doing amazing. I wish I could post like she does. I just wish I could write incredible posts like she does. Like, I bet you she gets heaps of clients, and I bet you it's all because of her amazing social media presence. Tell me if those are the types of thoughts you have about people when you see them everywhere on social media. How do I know? And if you have, I bet you have. And the reason I put these thoughts is because these are thoughts that I have had, right, all the time, particularly when I started in business. And sometimes they still happen now. I'm not going to lie to you, sometimes they do, because I'm human. And so when we have these thoughts and we can let that imposter syndrome get in there, right, this is when the overwhelm happens. This is where we get confused, because we just go, oh, she's doing it all. I need to be doing what she's doing. It looks all too much. I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep up with it. And so our focus gets split as well, because we're trying to keep up with it all, right, and do it all at once, rather than choose that one specific place to focus. Our focus is split, and it shows, right? And so what all this does is it inadvertently translates into less leads, and of course less leads means less clients. And it's the confusion and the overwhelm and the split focus happens because your audience feels it on a subconscious level, right? We don't realize that that's what we're putting out there. So even though, you know, your posts may be amazing, and yeah, you are kind of putting them on several different social media platforms, if there's no intention behind it and you're unsure of why you're doing it, then people are going to feel that. They're going to feel your confusion. They're going to feel your own self-doubt that you have behind the posts. Like, it's actually, again, subconsciously going to come across in what you put in your posts. And so, of course, you know, like I said, when you get lack of leads, lack of clients, or less leads, less clients, of course, it translates into your confidence suffering. And that overwhelm and that confusion keep happening. And, you know, it's almost, you could describe it as a vicious cycle. And so this was me, right? This was me around about this time last year, right? Knowing that, so what was it? It was about the end of Feb, start of March. And I just knew, my whole being knew that I had to change my direction. So I still wanted to do the coaching, but I knew that I needed to transition from personal coaching into business coaching, but I wasn't sure how. And not wanting to confuse myself or not wanting to confuse my audience, I tried to push through, right? So I tried to I can't even explain what I was doing. I was trying to keep doing my social media in the same way that I'd been doing it while trying to make the change at the same time, right? Even that is confusing. And so I felt my confusion. I knew that I was confused in myself. And it was coming across, when I look back now at those social media posts that I was putting up, my confusion was coming across subconsciously. And so obviously others were feeling that from me as well, right? And especially my lack of confidence at that stage, right? I was in a low because, you know, what was happening? I was confused. I was getting overwhelmed. I was getting less responses. My confidence was suffering, right? Because my focus was split. And as I've said before, I almost gave up my business because of that confusion, because of that overwhelm. And so I needed to bring it back to simplicity again. I needed to just bring it back and keep it simple. Something that I say to my Heart and Soul Business Academy girls all the time, it's a phrase that I use consistently, is keep it simple, sister, right? The old KISS method. Keep it simple, sister. And the trick is to learn one platform first. So choose where your audience hangs out. Learn the strategy on that one platform first. Learn the strategy behind it. Then once you've learned the strategy, you can put your own processes together in your business that suit you, suit your clients, and suit your business. And then once you have perfected that strategy, or perfected, because, you know, everything's perfectly imperfect, isn't it? Then you can move on to another platform, right? Take the same process and adapt it to another platform. So most social media platforms will be able to translate, right? You'll be able to use that strategy or adapt the strategy to make it similar, right? So once you know one strategy, or once you know one platform, it's not difficult to adapt it as to another platform, right? Logically, you may need to learn a few different specifics, right? So if you look at Facebook, as opposed to Instagram, so Insta has these reels. These reels are going off on Insta, but Facebook doesn't necessarily have that option for us to use. So yes, if you're going to move to Insta, you're going to have to learn the specifics of the Insta reels, but you can still use the same strategies to get people's eyes on you that you're using in Facebook. So once you learn one, you can learn another one. It's pretty easy. Once you've learned one social media platform, it's fairly easy to pick up another one, right? Because they really, they all work on the same basis, right? It's all the algorithm. They all work on getting the algorithm to work for you. It's a big word on a Tuesday morning, isn't it? Algorithm. But still remembering to keep it simple, right? And add slowly. Add one platform at a time as you can. We don't need to do it all at once. And, you know, my beautiful assistant, Parme, we've been working together for 5 weeks now. And so, you know, I was working by myself for quite a while, and I had been doing at the time, so I'd been doing Facebook, Insta, LinkedIn, and a little bit of YouTube, right? But when Parme joined me in our team, I needed to bring it back simply because I needed to train her in Facebook. So as we've gone along, you know, we went back to basics. So we went back for a little while to just Facebook, right? And then when she got that, she's a very quick learner, by the way. When we got, pardon me, Facebook happening, we added Instagram. Then we've got Insta going, and then we've added LinkedIn. And so now we're starting to add YouTube. But we're doing it strategically. We didn't do it all at once, because if we had, like, just about like my head would have exploded, hers would have exploded too. So personally, for me in business, when I started, and still now, I'm going to say that I choose Facebook first, because it literally, hey, Claire, lovely, you use Facebook, you only really use Facebook, have an Insta account, and all my posts go this and that. Oh, I bet I know how, but that's the secret for another day. That's the secret that I'll tell you about in the academy. So I choose Facebook first, because Facebook literally gives you everything that you need to start a business from scratch. It's amazing, right? And it gives you organic ways that you can do it. So you can start your business, you can build your good business, you can continue to grow your business on Facebook by using the strategies, the organic social media marketing strategies that I teach my girls in the Heart and Soul Business Academy. And I have to say, I have to mention this because I'm so proud. One of my beautiful girls in the academy yesterday, she put a post up in our group saying that she celebrated a really huge sale in her business through using the strategies that I'm teaching her. So Ashley, if you're watching, I'm so proud of you. Well done. And this was, again, from using the strategies that we're teaching on Facebook. So these things work. So if you are if you're watching this and you're going, oh my God, yes, that's me, I'm so confused on social media, where the hell do I start? How the hell do I get it working for me? Let's have a chat, lovely ladies. Even if you're not in business and you're wanting to start and you don't know where to start from, come and let's have a chat. Let's talk about whether the Heart and Soul Business Academy is for you. We'll do a little mini, if you're in business, we'll do a little mini sales funnel audit. We'll have a look where you're at. If you're not in business, let's talk about the idea that you've got to start business. So if you want to have a chat, pop the word confidence in the comments below, and we will be in touch to make a time to have a little chat, do a little mini sales funnel audit with you, and see if you, if you'd like to join the Heart and Soul Business Academy. All right, my lovely ladies, we're finishing a little bit early today. So thank you everyone who's joined us live. And again, if you're watching the replay today, pop hashtag replay in the comments so I can come back and I can see your comments and show you some love. And if you have any questions, let me know. Again, pop the word confidence in the comments below if you would like to book in for that chat. All right, lovely ladies, we will see you again for our Business Insights training next week. Bye-bye.